Hi guys, my name's Rowlands. I'm a nutritional balancing practitioner, and in this video I'm going to discuss my experiences with technology and social media and the kind of love-hate relationship I have towards it. More love-hate relationship towards technology and social media. I'm beginning to hate that side of things. But I think my experience is going to give you some insights actually on some of the benefits of technology, some of the kind of cons of technology, and how probably your relationship with technology and social media is going to change as you progress through a nutrition balancing program, or as your health progresses. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and hopefully enlighten you on some of the thought processes that I've gone through and basically where I'm at now with the whole thing. So it all started when I was young, 14, 15, when we first started getting computers, and for whatever reason I was pretty obsessed with computers. I remember we had one computer in my living room when I was around 14, 15. Luckily for me, I wasn't in the generation that we're in now where kids are getting brought up on iPads and computers and stuff. So I did have a fairly outdoorsy childhood, which I do appreciate. I was out a lot playing football, you know, out with friends, playing around, you know, being in trees and various different things. But yeah, as it, you know, when I got to about 14, 15, we had a computer in my living room. I remember it dial-up. It was a dial-up computer. It used to take ages to turn on. But I got into computers and I really enjoyed them, and there was something about kind of websites and coding and things like that that I just enjoyed. And I do feel like it's a weird comparison, but I enjoyed kind of making something complex, but the end product is simple to use. So, for example, I really enjoyed building complex websites, but the simplicity of use is what I got a lot of joy out of that. And I find that nature and God works like that as well, whereby it's very, very complex. You don't really understand how everything works, but there's a beautiful simplicity of it as well, where everything works just fine. And I feel that like there's a kind of a yin and yang balance there. And you see it throughout in various different things. iPads, for example, you know, I feel like one of the reasons why Apple became so popular is that they've designed a product that's extremely complex, but it's very simple to use. And I find that in life sometimes, you know, just the complexity of nutrition, for example, of all the different elements, you know, vegetables and fruits and nuts and all this kind of stuff, and you know, you just eat it but the body simplifies it and just makes you don't have to worry about things. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So there's kind of a yin and yang balance to kind of complexity and simplicity, you know, like linear and chaotic. And I feel like that's what drawn me into computers initially, is the idea of creating things complex, but the output is really simple. So I kind of got into computers a lot when I was younger. Got a bit of a name for myself as, you know, the guy that used to be able, you got a problem with a computer, you ring me up and I would, you know, show you how to, you know, open software or fix hardware, all of that kind of stuff. And it kind of became an addiction to me. I was addicted to computers. Looking back on it now, I probably used it as an escape. I think that I was probably a highly intuitive kid, and I was highly attuned to the world and its issues, but back then I couldn't understand them or articulate them as much as I can do now. So I think I used computers as an escape initially, because it's very stimulating. You know, it's you can do a lot of things on it, whereas the world that I got brought up in was often, you know, a little bit dull and dreary, especially as I, you know, got older. You know, 14, 15, 16, 17, when I started to become more of an adult, you would say. And I mean, definitely not an adult, but an adolescent, and coming into the so-called real world. And I was very sensitive to the real world. I was like, this is really strange and weird. and I rebelled against it. And I think one of my escapes was using technology. But yeah, I got addicted to it, and obviously you all know about my health problems that started around the similar time, really, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, definitely started using computers a little bit earlier, actually, maybe 12, 13. And yeah, carried on. Went to university, studied landscape architecture, which kind of was quite well suited for me, actually, in terms of a course to study. I was interested in the outdoors. I was interested in nature. I liked to be on computers. I enjoyed designing, so it was actually quite a good course where I could design things on a computer and, you know, study the environment and stuff. But I was too driven, and you all know my history on health. You know, if you haven't, check out my video I did on our healing journey. I think it's the first video I ever did on this channel. Kind of goes through my journey in healing. And yeah, so I got ill and found the Nutritional Balancing program when I was around 21, and realised that I was so incredibly sick that I needed to leave the country. So I went to Thailand and did web design in Thailand. When I came back to England, I basically realised that I was earning enough money to survive, and it allowed me not to go into a full-time job. So I kind of kept doing it, kind of kept working on technology and computers. But since I started healing, some things have evolved with my ideas around technology and computers and social media. So I just wanted to kind of go through that process of how it helped me out when I was healing, but as I got better and better and better, how it tends to be a little bit more detrimental. So in the beginning of my healing journey, I was using computers to earn an income. And in my opinion, it's a great way, actually, of earning money if you are struggling with your health, if you use it properly. So yeah, I'll talk about the pros. So it's flexible working. It allowed me to be flexible. You know, I could work whenever I want, being a graphic designer and a web designer and doing marketing and social media, etc. The money's good. You know, I definitely can't complain about the money. You know, you can charge fairly substantial amounts for a website, and if you're quite competent in using computers and building websites, then it's not you know, you can earn good money from it. It allowed me to be mobile, and so it allowed me to work out in nature, which I really enjoyed. That was something actually that came more as I healed, and I really started to understand how important nature is. It has elements of creativity. So, you know, building websites and designing logos and, you know, doing social media and all that kind of stuff is obviously quite positive. Now, it helped me out in them positive aspects in the beginning of my healing, because I couldn't work a full-time job. I was too ill, and I didn't really want to speak to people, and I needed a way for me to earn a substantial amount of money for me to be on the program, to buy the supplements, to eat organic food, etc., etc. So in many ways it was kind of a lifesaver, me working from the computers and using technology to its advantage when I was in the beginning of the program. However, there were some cons that started to creep up as I was working on it, and it's something that you guys need to be aware of if it's something that you're working on in the beginning. So you're working on your own, which is not very nice. In the beginning it wasn't too bad because I was so ill, I didn't really care, didn't really want to work with anyone else. As my health healed, I started to realise that happiness is bound in other people as well. It genuinely is. So I had the urge to work with other people or just be around people. So that was a con that kind of crept up a few years down the line in the program. One big issue is that you can easily get stimulated using a computer. Anyone that's got a personality like me that can do, my mind can run at 100 miles an hour, especially someone that's suffering from copper toxicity. You can easily get stimulated. You've got 10 tabs open on your computer, you're doing a graphic design job at the same time you're doing a website job, at the same time you're doing social media, so I easily got burnt. I easily ended up burning myself out, which was a problem. in the beginning. So you need to learn how to be slow and do your work diligently on a computer. It's addictive. It really is addictive. There's two reasons why it's addictive, really. One is the stimuli. You know, just YouTube videos, graphics, just stuff coming at you all the time. It's addictive. It gives you a hit of dopamine now and again. But also, like, the frequencies from EMF as well can be addictive. I did an article on this. I wrote an article on this a while back. If you go on my website, click on articles, you should find it's called EMF Technology and Addiction. Actually, the EMFs stimulate the adrenal glands, and it gives you a bit of a kick, a bit of a hit, and it makes you want to come back for more, which kind of led me onto the next issue, which was EMFs. I started to realise that, man, I'm really getting serious damage from the EMFs. I had extreme EMF sensitivity, so working on computers was a nightmare for me. I had to completely get rid of my MacBook, my Apple MacBook, because that was the worst for EMFs. I went through a process of learning how to use a computer if you've got EMF sensitivity, because it was really the only source of income for me that allowed me to be flexible. So I tried using mesh screens. That worked somewhat. Tried grounding my laptop, sitting away from it worked quite well, but the best system I found eventually was actually hooking your computer up to a projector, so you're actually looking at light rather than just staring directly into EMFs. I did a video on that. It's called How to Work on Computers If You've Got EMF Sensitivity, so if you're interested in that, check that out. That's on my YouTube channel somewhere as well. And then just the problem of staring at a screen all day. I mean, it's just unrealistic. The human body, the human mind isn't designed just to stare at screens 24/7. It's got blue light as well. If anyone knows about blue light, it's detrimental to your health, stimulates you too much. And just staring at a screen. We need to realise that we're biologically wired to want to see stimuli. This is why nature is such a great thing to be out in, because it's the colours, the shapes, it's so complex. It's what the brain needs, and I feel that a lot of people use computer screens subconsciously to fulfil that need of stimulation and creativity that the natural environment provides you. So that's kind of the pros and cons of technology. Throughout that as well, I was on social media and stuff, so I kind of wrote down the pros and cons of social media as I developed through my healing journey. So in the beginning of the program, social media was super helpful for finding other people that were ill. There was a Nutritional Balancing forum that we used. It's no longer there anymore, but I think there's another one on Facebook. You can watch YouTube now. I suppose you can watch Netflix when you're resting. That was really helpful for me, just to watch things, just to chill out, relax. Another thing that's really helpful for healing that helped me a lot is humour, just having a laugh. For me personally, there is a guy in England called Carl Pilkington. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's on the programmes Idiot Abroad. He's a guy from Manchester, and basically Ricky Gervais, the comedian, started a radio station on XFM years back, I think in like the year 2000, and Carl Pilkington was his producer at the time, and basically whatever comes out of his mouth is just hilarious. It's one of them people that you kind of come across who doesn't realise they're funny, but when they speak they're just funny, hilarious. So he ended up getting this guy on his radio station, and yeah, I think it just went like wildfire from there. Everyone was like, this guy's hilarious. And I used to listen to his podcasts when I was sick, and I still listen to them now sometimes when I'm down, because I just find them absolutely hilarious. So find something that you enjoy watching that's funny, and that's what's it really helped me on social media and stuff, and on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. It's just been finding funny things. Another good thing about social media is like events, like the Facebook events are really amazing. Like as I healed and got better, I used the event system on Facebook to find like-minded people, like-minded events that I would find people that have got like a similar interest, similar wavelength to me. So that's a real benefit of social media. Finding other similar people, like, I mean, I'm into the whole idea of light workers and all that kind of stuff. Like you can find other people that have set up groups on Facebook that are into that same idea of kind of spiritual development. It's something that's like unheard of really in my village. But even though like I'm meeting people in my village that I wasn't even aware of, that I've met at events, and I'm like, where do you live? It's like, oh, I live in the same village as you. It's like, whoa, awesome. So, you know, I've found new friends in my village just from that. So that's really beneficial. Finding new friends, obviously. And you can keep up to date with current events. I'm starting to realise that, again, humans aren't really designed to know everything, and you know, we just used to focus on our life, on our community, on our friends, on getting food, and we wasn't bothered about what was going off in France or Belgium or all this kind of stuff. And the more I kind of separate myself from the news and just do my own thing, the more I actually feel better about it. You know, the news is really depressing and just annoying. It is important to keep up to date with what's going off, but don't get sucked into it too much. You know, I remember the time when I was constantly checking like BBC News and it's just depressing, and then it's like, why am I like spending time getting interested in stuff that I'm not even aware of, that doesn't really affect me as well? I mean, you know, it's good to keep up to date with political stuff, but I found personally that, you know, like, just focus on your own stuff, you know, like and just limit that aspect. I think you can get too involved with that, where I was just stuck on Facebook all day just like checking current events and stuff, which wasn't useful for me. Some of the cons of social media is it's unrealistic. It's not based on real life. You're staring at a screen, you're staring at other people's stuff. Like, why stop being interested in other people's lives and updates and all this kind of stuff, like checking it aimlessly off the people you see on Facebook and Instagram you're not even aware of. You know, like, it's just unrealistic. It's not based on the real world. It's not based on real human connection, one-to-one connection. But again, like, there's a pro to that. If you're ill, it is good to kind of get that, you know, connection with people while you're healing. It lowers your self-esteem, because you're kind of comparing yourself to these unrealistic images of other people that often have probably got a worse life than you, but you see them on holiday, or you see them sat in the sun, and instantly you just think that, like, how much better their life is, when in reality it's probably not, you know. And it's just easy to compare with like thousands of people on the internet, like comparing lives, when you just one, you shouldn't be comparing yourself to anyone anyway, because you're a unique individual, and two, like, it's just none of your, like, you just focus, just stop worrying about them other people, just focus on yourself and your immediate friends and your immediate family, and you'll get much more fulfillment out of that than like looking at social media and kind of comparing yourself to other people. You need to realize that these social media giants, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they are the masters of addictive design. There's certain elements that you're subconsciously addicted to. I'll give you an example. If you're on an Apple iPhone and sending a text message, when the other person's replying, you see the three little dots just going up and down, up and down, up and down. That actually releases a little bit of cortisol, because you're eager to see what's going to come. It stimulates you. It's addictive. The same with the notifications on an iPhone or on Facebook are in red. Yeah, we've evolved to see red as danger, as a problem. That's just how our minds are wired from the environment. So when we see red, we want to get rid of the red. You know, you want to deal with it so we don't see it anymore. It's all part of addictive design. You know, Facebook is the granddaddy of addictive design. Is how it's laid out. You need to realize that these massive companies do spend millions and millions of pounds on things called split testing. So what they'll do is they'll have like 10 different designs of the Facebook homepage, and they'll send them 10 different designs out to 100,000 people each. So 100,000 people get one design, 100,000 people get the second design, etc, etc, etc. And then they'll see which design gets the most clicks, you know, and then they'll figure out which one's the most addictive, and that's what they'll do. And then they can get, say, number 3 is the most addictive. They get number 3. They can make 10 new templates based on number 3, which with just different variations of template free, do the same thing, and you get something even more addictive. So it's really addictive. It's an escapism. People use social media to escape from their real problems, from their traumas, from things that they don't want to deal with. You know, it's just the same as alcohol and cigarettes and chocolate, all that kind of stuff. It's the same kind of escapism. Big problem today, FOMO, fear of missing out. You know, like, again, if you're just looking on Facebook, so, you know, see one person going to this event, someone's doing a festival, someone's doing this, someone's doing that, like, we have like an innate fear of missing out, like we call it fear of missing out, FOMO, but as human beings, we're kind of designed to want new experiences because it stops us from being stagnant. You know, it stops us from just sitting there and kind of festering. You know, we would die if we didn't have an interest in, you know, if someone says, right, we're going hunting, you don't want to miss out. You want to go and get the catch. It's a new experience. It's novel. It's a way of getting you from one state of living to another. It's a healthy thing, but it gets like overexpanded when you're on social media, when you're seeing 100 different things that people are doing. You know, half the time they're probably not even having a good time. And yeah, it increases this natural survival technique of, and people socially call it these days, FOMO. You know, it's just makes it more expanded unnecessarily. Privacy issues on Facebook. You've all heard about the Facebook privacy issues. What is it? Cambridge Analytica. Yeah, we're giving our sovereignty away to governments and now to social media companies. We're just giving away our privacy, our stuff, our secrets, our, you know, pictures of children, all that kind of stuff. For what reason? Just to impress other people, just to feel more connected. You know, get rid of it. You know, you need to be a sovereign person. Take self-responsibility of yourself. Own your stuff. Own your privacy. Like, you're a unique sovereign individual. Like, why do you feel the need to just like spread yourself out and dilute yourself and expand your energy by giving away all your privacy to other people? Like, it's one way of becoming self-responsible and strong and grounded is by taking control of your own stuff. Just being in control of your own shit, if you want to call it like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just boom, being you, and just stop giving away all your privacy. And it's the same kind of victim mentality that we have of, oh, I want the government to look after me, and the government should be doing this, and it's not my fault, it's their fault, and I ain't got enough time to do this, and I ain't got enough money to do that. And it's like, we'll figure out a way of doing it and just be more self-responsible and stop giving away your privacy. And the last one, predators. You know, you know about the issues on social media with predators. Unfortunately, it's part of today's society. You don't want to be getting involved, obviously, with this kind of stuff. They're sneaky, they're clever, conniving. You know what I mean? Children are on Facebook and social media and the internet without any parental controls anymore, because it's just not cool, whatever. And obviously, there's bad people out there that you need to be staying away from. So I'm just going to kind of round up like how I live my life a little bit now in terms of my connection to technology. So after a while of starting a nutritional balancing program, you'll probably begin to realize that at the end of the day, technology is probably not a good thing. It stops you from being real. Hold on. Stops you from being realistic. It stops human interaction. It kind of makes you sedentary. It stops you from getting out into the natural environment. You know, you're not using your muscles and you're not using your body properly because you kind of sat just typing. You're staring at a screen all day. You're comparing yourself to other people. So it doesn't matter how much you kind of sugarcoat technology. It's probably in the end not a good thing to be on it too much. However, I understand how difficult it is, and obviously I use technology, and I'll kind of speak a little bit about how I use it, just to help you out. But I'm slowly trying to get more away from technology and just use it when I need to. So one thing that I've done is I have this phone. It stops me from messing around on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter in the morning. I used to get up in the morning, check everything, check all my notifications, WhatsApp, blah, blah, and you just get stuck into this kind of spiral sometimes. You'll watch a YouTube video, and then you just spend an hour, 2 hours on YouTube. I'm like, what? You know, I haven't done anything. Like, it's ridiculous. Same when I get into relationships, you know, it's like messaging your partner all day, every day, you know, constantly going. I mean, it ruins relationships because it's not natural to be like that, to be constantly kind of addicted to another person. It stops you from getting on with your own life. So helpful, I think, if you're in a relationship, get a phone like this where you struggle to text them back. You know, one, it's so hard to text people, you don't really want to, so it's just easy just to give people a call and just be like, yeah, I'm doing this, catch you later. You know, like in relationships, I've been on WhatsApp all day, every day, and just like, man, I'm just not even doing the stuff that I should be doing. You know, so it really, really helps just to get a crappy phone like this. I'm actually recording on a Samsung S8. It's great. It's fantastic. I'll talk a little bit about that. Well, I'll kind of talk about it now, really. So I've got a Galaxy S8. It's amazing. It's really helped me out with my YouTube videos. But what I do is when I need to do a YouTube video, I'll take my SIM card out of this, pop it in the Galaxy, do my video. I can add intro videos together using an app, and then I upload the video onto YouTube. I'll create a beautiful thumbnail for YouTube, all on my Galaxy S8. If I need to answer some emails, no problem. If I need to do Skype calls, no problem. I'll just turn it on. And that's how I work. And as soon as I've finished, I'll switch it off, put my SIM card back in my other phone so I'm not tempted to go back on it again. If I need to use Skype, I'll use Skype, answer emails, all that kind of stuff. So it's really, really good. What I did as I healed, I realised that, you know, I need to go out and find wholesome friends. Find your tribe. You know, again, this is what we're designed to be. We're designed to be in a tribe. Find your tribe. Find the people that you're connected to. Maybe you want to focus a little bit more on your family. I went out, used Facebook events to go and find new people to chill out with. You know, my friends actually think similar to me. None of them really use phones or technology or anything like that. And it's like you generally find that the higher quality people are not necessarily going to be on Facebook all the time because they realise actually it's detrimental for the health. So that really helped me. Like, I don't worry about other people so much on social media because I've got good friends that I know I can give them a call and meet up. And, you know, I've got a strong tribe. People look out for me. Got my best interests at heart. It's really nice. Don't compare, you know, I mean, one way of not comparing yourself to other people is to not use social media and stuff like that. Again, it's a sliding scale, as I've mentioned in this. If you're really ill and you're tired and you can't get out of bed, social media can be an absolute godsend, you know. But for me, I don't need it anymore. I don't need to compare myself to other people. I'm my own person. I'm confident in myself. You know, I mean, I love myself enough to not kind of compare myself to other people. I'm sure I probably do subconsciously at one level, but the fact that I'm trying to stay off social media now by doing these techniques is much better. And yeah, just if you're doing anything on a computer, say if I've got a website to build or I've got a graphic to build, I'll just write down the steps I need to do. Do a logo, set up a web server, answer emails, and I'll just just do each one of them step by step, which, you know, if I stick to that, it stops me from my mind from wandering off doing various other different things and, you know, just wasting my time. So quickly, like, I'll get up in the morning, I'll actually, to be fair, the first thing in the morning I'll do is I will check my email on my computer in case there's any emergencies, in case I have got any emergency jobs that need doing. So I do actually check my email first thing in the morning. Then I'll do like my morning spa routine with nutritional balancing. Then usually what I'll do is I'll get outside in, you know, I'm at my allotment today, so I've got some stuff to do on my allotment. I've got some plants to do. So while I'm here, I've just done a video and, you know, and some emails. I had a client chat about an hour back, which I actually used this phone for that particular chat because they didn't have Skype, which often is actually more beneficial for me. So after this, I'll upload it, put my SIM card in my new phone, do my jobs. Then I got some other clients I need to speak to. And then I'm going to, I mean, it's food season now. It's about getting your food in and growing your own food. So I'm going to try and get as much food in at my mom's place. I'm going to try and get some food growing at my own place. I live in a flat, but I'm just going to try and use windowsills, etc, etc, etc. So that keeps me busy. It gives me a mission. It gives me a purpose. It's really, it gives me such a, a buzz. And it really increases my self-esteem to know that I am actually taking control of my own food. Super, super good way of thinking. I think you guys should be doing the same. The whole rewilding concept that I'm getting into, it's really making me realise how important it is to reconnect with our biology, how we've been designed. You know, just even getting out in nature, you get into nature's time. I don't wear a watch. Luckily for me, every time I take the battery out to put the SIM card in this, it resets the clock, so I don't really know what time it is. If I need the time, if I'm speaking to a client or whatever, I'll just ask someone in the street or whatever. But nature's time is so much nicer. You live on the time of nature, so when it gets dark, you go to bed. When it gets light, you wake up. All that kind of stuff. It's really cool. And then tonight, I've got one of my friends. I gave him a call today without messing around on messages. I'm like, there's some reggae yoga, some gentle reggae yoga going off at 6:30 tonight. Do you want to do that for an hour? Cool, I'm doing that. Some gentle yoga, a bit of reggae, a bit of a good laugh, meet some nice people, and then get home, you know, do what I need to do, blah, blah, blah. And that's that. All at the same time, I'm doing the nutritional balancing program. You know what I mean? I'm drinking my water, I'm taking my supplements, I'm eating my vegetables, and that's how I work. And I've gone from just literally getting up in the morning, doing a nutrition balancing program, being on my computer for 12 hours a day because I'm ill, which is fine. I'm not saying don't do that. To now being on computer technology way less. And actually, when I'm on technology, I'm doing something really beneficial. Obviously, speaking to you guys on YouTube, in my opinion, I feel like I'm providing a great service. By getting my information, getting my knowledge out there. But at the end of the day, to be happy, to be healthy, to look after my own self, to love myself, I can't be sat on Facebook all day answering questions or emails or YouTube or whatever. It wouldn't be healthy. I wouldn't be doing anyone any justice. You see all these kind of gurus and experts who have got massive online companies, and you think to yourself, man, they must be sat on a computer all day, every day. Are they actually how much of a good figure are they to the people if they're actually just like sat on a computer all day? Like, that's not healthy for your mind, for your spirit, for your body. It's not very good. Alright, so half an hour. I know that my videos are quite long, but I just feel like I need to get as much information out as possible because you know, these people that are doing 5-10 minute videos on YouTube, they're kind of doing it for likes and views and stuff because it's quick and snappy, and we're living a quick world because I feel like it helps a lot. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Speak soon.